right, guys, welcome back to another video. We have some pretty crazy breaking news to talk about that just happened. It has to do with PlayStation and Concord. As we know, Concord has released. It did not have a very good launch whatsoever. Some of the worst player numbers I think we've seen in a very long time for a brand new multiplayer games as a service type of first person shooter. At a point, it was at like 57 players on the Steam charts. And overall, we had heard they had only sold about 25,000 copies. So it was an absolute failure of a launch for the game, a game that was in development for a very long time, a game that PlayStation, I think, was putting a lot of eggs in the basket for in terms of getting a multiplayer shooter, something to be able to compete with games that are already out there on the market. And obviously this has not panned out the way that they have wanted it to. And we do have an update here, which is kind of the end here of Concord. Unless something crazy happens in the future and they decide to just put it back in development and re-release it, it seems like this is the end of this game in a very short period of time. So here is the release. It says an important update on Concord. Say, Concord fans, we've been listening closely to your feedback since the launch of Concord on the PlayStation 5 and PC and want to thank everyone who has joined the journey aboard the North Star. Your support and the passionate community that has grown around the game has meant the world to us. Now, again, that community is not very big. However, while many qualities of the experience resonated with players, we also recognize that other aspects of the game in our initial launch didn't land the way we'd intended. Therefore, at this time, we have decided to take the game offline beginning September 6, 2024. So in 3 days, this game is dead. And they say and explore options, including those that will be better reach our players. So they are insinuating here that it isn't completely finished and they may come out with a new release for this game in some way to get more people to jump in and play when it does launch. And I'm guessing that's going to be a free to play thing that they potentially may try, or they may just end up forgetting about this altogether, not even wasting any more time. Continues here and says, while we determine the best path ahead, Concord sales will cease immediately, and we will begin to offer a full refund for all gamers who have purchased the game on PS5 or PC. If you purchase the game for PlayStation 5 from the PlayStation Store or PlayStation Direct, a refund will be issued back to your original payment method, and customers who purchase from other digital storefronts will also be refunded. More information about refunds from Steam and Epic can be found below. So they give you how you're going to be able to actually get your refund. Now, when it comes to physical copies of this game, they say here, for customers who have purchased a physical copy at a retailer location outside of PlayStation directly, please refer to the refund process of the retailer you purchased it from to obtain your refund. So even if you bought the physical version, you got to walk into that store, kind of a walk of shame here, and say that you want refund for Concord. This is insane. This is insane. I mean, this game just literally came out and they're already shutting it down. Probably one of the biggest flops we've ever seen in gaming. One of the biggest flops, or the biggest flop definitely this year when it comes to major releases. And the game is now dead. There's so many things you could equate as to why this happened. First of all, I don't think many people were asking for this game, even from the PlayStation crowd. There's other games that we were hearing about in the works that seemed a lot more appealing and a lot more fun from a multiplayer perspective. The Last of Us 2 multiplayer game, Factions 2, I guess you could call it, which actually had a nice player base with the first game, got canceled. You had Twisted Metal that was potentially in development that got canceled. We're hearing about some other games like the Spider-Man Multiverses multiplayer game. All of these things sound way more enticing than Concord. Concord's also a hero shooter, a first-person shooter that is releasing in a very saturated market of games that does not set itself apart from it, where people are going to stop playing what they currently are playing and jump in to play Concord. And then the other big thing I would say is the $40 price tag. And although I actually personally don't really care that much about that $40 price tag, and the reason for that is because everything they are giving you is all free updates in terms of content. It's actually kind of a throwback to when we used to get multiplayer games where you just paid full price for the game and then you get a huge amount of content for the lifespan of it. But we are now in an era where people just don't want to pay for these types of games when there's like different seasons, different content coming in. They just want that free to play, and then they want to be able to pick and choose which content that they're going to be spending money for microtransactions on. And obviously that strategy did not pay off. They probably should be releasing this as a free-to-play, and I do think if they are going to bring this game back out in the future, and that's a big if, it will just be a free-to-play, and they're going to go to that games as a service model. But even if that does happen at this point, I feel like there's no way this game is going to be able to succeed with a re-release after everything that has happened. But this is insane to see PlayStation taking this off of the market right now, giving full refunds. And you have to ask yourself, what is going to happen to Firewalk Studios? Is this the end of the studio? Are they going to be completely now just dispersed across SIE? Are they going to just shut it down and lay everybody off there? Are they going to have an opportunity to make another game? And with the way that the industry is currently going, you'd have to expect that that may not be the case. And we could see some mass layoffs here for everybody that has worked on this game. Obviously, for the developers, it's unfortunate, but PlayStation dropped the ball here, from the character designs to the launch pricing to just everything around this game, from the actual trailer that they initially showed off, where people were thinking this may have some single player experiences to it, some narrative side to it, and it just ended up being a narrative trailer for a completely multiplayer game. So much went wrong with Concord, and this is going to be one of the biggest flops in gaming that we're going to continue to follow and see how this does evolve. Now, in the future, what is next? What is the next games as a service multiplayer game PlayStation wants to put out? Because we know that they do want to put these out, and they will be putting more of these out. But games as a service are very hard to be successful in. And when you have Xbox as a competitor to them, having lots of games as a service successes, PlayStation is definitely trying to figure out how they can jump in to that arena and get something to compete alongside what Xbox has to offer. But that's crazy breaking news. Just thought I'd update you guys on that. I will end the video there. If you do enjoy daily gaming news and content, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, share the video. Also check out my Spotify. Link is in the description. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.